I will never stop learning even after graduation, but there are many things to learn about, so it's more important to learn how to learn more effectively so that you can save time to learn more things. I recently watched the newest video by Andrew Huberman about learning, and I'm going to show you what I learned in there, so let's go. Learning involves neuroplasticity, which is the change in the nervous system based on experiences. To keep it simple, the neurons do different stuff to one another when learning. It either strengthens connection between one neuron to the next, weakens connection between one neuron to the next, and adding new connection from one neuron to another neuron. Basically, that's how, when oversimplified, learning works. It's based on neuroplasticity. Now, the best way to learn, which he emphasized a lot, is to offset the natural process of forgetting of new information, aka reduce the amount of forgetting of new information, which I will talk about how to do it later. I will spit out all the actionable ways that he recommends when learning. Number 1, you need to be focused and alert when learning, so that you pay attention to the information and tell your brain to activate neuroplasticity. To help you focus and alert better, sleep. Tell yourself that the information that you are learning is very important, so that you will actively learn the information. You can do so by telling yourself, I need to learn this, I need to learn this. And consistently go back to learning when you get distracted, like meditation. Speaking of meditation, to increase the amount of focus and the attention that you will have, you can meditate consistently, focus on your breath, and refocus when you get distracted. You can also keep yourself well hydrated, drink some caffeine if you want to, and sleep. The actual retention of the information will start when you are sleeping, especially during REM sleep. And furthermore, it also occurs at the first night after you learn the information. So get the best sleep that night. Speaking of sleep, if you lack sleep or want to enhance your neuroplasticity, he recommends doing NSDR or non-sleep deep rest. You can search NSDR or Yoga Nidra on YouTube. Best habits and tips to optimize learning. Set aside time to study when you want to focus. Clear out any distractions around you, like leaving your phone out of reach or turning off the notifications. Isolation. Tell your family or the people around you that you are studying. Break 3 to 4 hours of study sessions into blocks throughout the day. Study consistently at the same time of day. Teach other people what you have learned, which is kind of what I'm doing right now. Have an aspiring goal that you are going to work towards as a result of studying the materials. Make the materials that you are studying challenging. Now for the answer that you have been waiting for, how to study. The answer is testing. Testing is the best way to build and retain knowledge and offset forgetting. The reason why testing works is that there is an aspect of error or getting things wrong, and when you get the question wrong, it cues your nervous system to lock in the information, thus retaining it longer. It also forces yourself to bring the material to mind, so that you know what you know and what you don't know, which also involves some kind of error. But you may be asking how to test. There are mainly 2 key aspects that you need to know when you are testing yourself. Number 1, increase the self-studying that you do. This is the study that he talked about in his videos. The first group, study, then took a test. The second group, study, and test themselves, then take a test. The third group, study, test themselves, then take a test. And the third group did the best. And number 2, test yourself immediately after you are exposed to the material. Again, in his videos, in his studies, there are 3 groups. The first group, study, immediately test themselves, then waited, then took a final test. The second group, studied, took a break, then test themselves, then took a break again, then took a final test. The third group studied, took a break, and test themselves, and immediately took a final test. The first group did the best. Now that you know how to test yourself, what to test yourself with. In these videos, he recommends open-ended, short-answered, minimum prompt tests. Actually, short or long answered doesn't really matter, but open-ended is the key. And last point on testing, don't use your phone after material exposure instead of testing yourself. The short period after you receive the information is the prime time to test yourself. Some extra tip for learning: take periodic pauses in the learning bout, usually lasting 5 to 30 seconds. These pauses allow your brain to have the time to repeat itself what it just learned, so that it can retain better. Utilize emotions. Add emotion when you are learning materials that get too boring, like hyping yourself up. Maybe utilize cold plunges. It adds adrenaline to hype yourself up. So yeah, these are what I learned from Andrew Huberman about learning. So anyways, that's my opinion. Bye.